Okay, so I'm back. So once you have both of your frames done, go ahead, get another piece of thread, again, a nice long piece, and grab your bauble. And this bit kind of depends on what your bauble looks like. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick up a number of 11 O's and then a super duo, and then some 11 O's, a super duo, 11 O's, super duo. So what you want is it spread evenly around your top of your bauble. Some of them are thinner than others, so I'm gonna kind of leave that up to you. But you want 4 super duos evenly spaced apart, okay? So go ahead and get that on. Okay, so I am just measuring mine, and it seems to fit. I have 7 in between each super duo, just to give you an idea of how it's gonna fit. Okay, so 7 seems to work for me. You may need to adjust. It's okay if it's a little bigger than what you have. It doesn't have to be like perfectly tight up against it. Okay, so anyway, I have 7. I'm gonna go through again and I'm gonna tie to my tail. So just go all the way around, tie with your tail once you get back to the start, okay? Okay, so once you have tied a knot in your starting ring, and you should be next to a super duo, you can go ahead, put your ring over your bauble for a second just to measure, okay? So you're coming out like near the top of a super duo, and you can go ahead and sew through the super duo if you want to, okay? Just to get away from your knot. All right. So I'm coming out here. You're gonna pick up your frame that we made, and you're going to lay it on your bauble, and you're gonna figure out like, where do I want it to hang? So I want it to hang here, and you're going to work out how many beads you need to sew down to this bead here and then up to this bead here, okay? So it may be different for you than it is for me. It's going to depend on the size of your loop and also the size of your bauble, okay? So work that out and just pick up that number of seed beads. So I'm going to try 9 and see how that goes. That's a little too many, I think, in my opinion, for me. So I'm going to do 7. Okay, so 7 looks pretty good to me. It's fairly even. I might take 1 out and do 6. I'm gonna put, so what you're gonna do once you kind of think you know, is you're going to go ahead, sew through the top of the super duo and come out the other super duo. Do the same on the other side, and then kind of hang it and just check if it's hanging where you want it to hang, okay? So, you know, you'll pick up 7, pick up the other frame, and once it's balanced, you'll be able to see if it's hanging about the right height. Okay? Okay, so once you've worked out how many beads you need, and I'm going to go with 7, go ahead and sew forward so that you're coming out from the super duo where the starting knot is before your first little dip here. Okay, you're going to pick up 1 seed bead and you're going to go turn and go the other way through the super duo. Okay, so there's my 111 right there. Okay, I'm going to pick up again here, it's going to be whatever number you used here. Okay, so pick up that many, whatever you used. So I used 7, so pick up 7 and then pick up one of your crystals and then pick up 7 more. Like this, okay? And you're going to go through the other hole of the super duo. So we're working kind of the other direction now. So we've made a little loop like this. Okay, I'm going to lay this flat so you can kind of see what we're doing. Okay, so we have this. You're going to pick up 1 seed bead and you're going to go back up into the upper hole here. Like that. So we should have 1 extra seed bead here and here now, okay? So go ahead, work around, so pass through the next seed beads until you get over to this super duo right here, okay? Okay, so when you're coming out from this top of this super duo, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to pick up 1 seed bead, go into the lower hole, then you're going to pick up your same number of seed beads and a crystal on this side. You're going to pass into this hole and then go through, pick up 1 seed bead and go reverse, okay? So for me, I'm picking up 7 here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pick up a crystal, pick up 7 more. Go into the lower hole here. Pick up 1 seed bead and turn and go into the upper hole. Okay, so we're going to sew forward through our super duo and down through that seed bead that we just added a minute ago right here, okay? So go ahead, sew through all those seed beads and into the top of the super duo. And then you're going to sew through that 1 seed bead that we added right here, okay? Now again, this is going to depend on your own bauble, okay? So it's kind of up to you at this point to measure. I'm just going to turn mine around. You're going to lay it on your bauble. And you're going to work out how many seed beads it's going to take you to get down here. And you want to actually have, so you want it so that this is not like bunching up like this, okay? So you want it a little bit looser than maybe you might think. So I think that's probably about right. So I'm actually going to go into the second and the third right here. Okay, so I'm going into my second 8-0 and my third 8-0, and that looks pretty good. So how many is that? One, well, that one was already there, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 it took me. So I'm not counting the one that we already added right there. Okay. All right, so that is 11. Then we're going to have to work our way over here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're going to pick up, again, a string of beads. That's gonna take us halfway there. And before we get halfway, we're going to pick up a crystal and we're going to pick up one of our chaton settings, okay? So again, this is kind of trial and error here. You have to just see how far you have to go. I can't tell you exactly because it really depends on the size of your bauble. And it's okay if it's a little loose, like right now I kind of have a little bit too many maybe, so this is gonna dip down, but I actually kind of like that, so I'm gonna let it do that. I'm gonna just pick up the same number on the other side. So for me, that is 5, 19, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 14 plus a crystal. And on your other one, you're going up through the third and second from the top right here, okay? So once you get to the other side, go ahead and pull that. And then the same number of beads that you did right here, you're gonna do going up into that single seed bead that's up at the top here, okay? Okay, so once you've added your string and you've come back up and you're going through that one seed bead, you can take a shortcut, pass through these seed beads between the super duos right at the top. So just snip straight up into those and carry across through those, which for me, I have 7. Might be different for you, okay? And then just pull, make sure you don't have any slack in this bit here, okay? Then you're gonna go down through that single seed bead that's there again. And if it's easier for you to take it off the bauble, you can do that as well. For me, getting the right fit, I find it a little bit easier to try and work on the bauble, but like everybody's different, so whatever is easier for you, okay? So now you're going to pick up the same number, go down to the second and the third one here next to this crystal. And then again, you're going to pick up the same number of beads that you picked up to go around the side here, okay? So into the second and third bead, going back up right here on the other side, and then you're going to pick up the correct number of beads and go up into your single bead right here, okay? Okay, when you get back to the top, run through the next 7 or however many beads you have along the top there, okay? and make sure that you're pulling so that there's no slack anywhere here. Okay, so now you're going to work your way. You're going to go down through the single bead and come out from the crystal here. So you're going to go through the single bead, through the super duo, and come out from this crystal. Okay, once you're coming out from the crystal, try and center everything so that these two are falling evenly, and you need to work out how many beads it's going to take you to get down to be able to pass into your crystal right here, okay? Okay, so what I did was I did 6, and then I did a super duo, and then I did 6 more, and then into this, okay? So, because this will be a little bit more this way, so it's going to pull up slightly, and that seems to be pretty even on both sides for me. So that's what I did there, okay? Then I'm going to pick up one crystal, and then I have to work out how I'm going to get over to this middle right here, because what we need to do is make sure that these middle sections stay pulled out a little bit at the length that we want. So again, you're going to have to just figure out, actually I'm just going to pick up some seed beads and maybe put the crystal here next to this. I think I'm going to do that instead. So go ahead and figure out how far you have to go. Okay, so I did 19 and then a crystal, and I sewed through this middle seed bead right here, okay? I'm going to circle around here, come back out, and then I'm going to sew back over and come out the top of my chaton right here. So you're going to go around, down, through your crystal, and back and up through your chaton, okay? Okay, and once you come out the top, you're going to sew up a few, and then you're going to split and do the same number into this side, and then the same number up into this side of the crystal. So I'm going to sew up 3. I have 6 beads right here, so I'm going to sew up 3. Then I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, sew through the other side of the super duo, and then I have to pick up the same number that I have here, which is 6. And I'm going to go through the crystal at the top. Okay, so looks like that. Then you're going to go back down. You're going to do the same, exactly what you did on this side right here, going over to this one, okay? Then you're going to come back up. You're going to go up here, through here, through here, through here, just to reinforce. And you can add, if you want, a little drop right here. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side of the bauble to join those two sides on the other side, okay? All right, so sew down here and then add the same right here, okay? So I'll come back once I've done that. Okay, so I've come back. I went around, just like we did on this side, went around my motif there, and I've come back. So I'm gonna sew up here. I'm gonna add one bead right here between these two where the crystal is joined on, okay? You're gonna sew up through that single bead, around here, through the single bead, back down, add a bead right here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add this drop right here. Now, obviously, if you don't have this drop, you can use any other drop you like, or you can just leave that off. So I'm gonna come down, add my drop on, and then I'm gonna go back to the other side, and I'm gonna have to do the whole thing again on that side. I will probably have to add more thread because I don't have that much left. So just add thread as you need to, and anything, once you finish that, anything that's loose, like see here, it's a little bit loose, you can go back in and reinforce any lines that you think are going to need reinforcing, okay? All right, so I'm gonna work on this, get my drop on, do my other side, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I finished that off and tied in my threads, and that is my ornament cover finished. I think it came out pretty cute. I like it. If you wanted to, you could add more lines going across, you know, lines of beads. I think I might have miscounted right here. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, whatever. It's fine. No one will notice. I'll hang it this way around. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and it's something a bit different. So, you know, I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care for now. Okay, bye.